What's up, my reseller friends? My name is Sabrina. I thrift to resell on eBay and Mercari. One of the things that I sell a lot of are DVDs, and I have gotten the request to make a video showing you how I clean my DVDs before I resell them. Now remember, this is just what I do. I don't know if this is the correct way of doing it. I'm not an expert. So I have this lot of 4 Tupac DVDs that I'm going to be bundling together to sell, but they are pretty dusty. And I do buy a lot of DVDs. I buy them at thrift stores, yard sales, from people on Facebook Marketplace, and then sometimes I just get them for my own collection. But it seems like most of the time they need to be cleaned, especially when you're buying from someone on Facebook or a yard sale. A lot of times the person selling them has had these DVDs sitting somewhere picking up dust, and I always clean my DVDs. So what I do differs depending on how badly dirty it is. Now let's just start off with, let's just say it's not very dirty at all. So I just use one of these microfiber towels. Is that what they're called? Microfiber. And I'll literally just like wipe it down with the towel. And I especially use it on the disc inside because a lot of times the discs don't have any fingerprints and they don't need to be cleaned, but they just look a little bit dusty. So I just just blow on it, and then I just get the towel and go like that, and then it's perfect, ready to go. So keep in mind, when you're listing DVDs, it's really only worth it if you can list these fast, especially the ones that are lower priced, aren't worth very much. If you're spending all this time cleaning them, it's not really worth it anymore, right? So you always want to try to clean them as quickly as possible. So when I am cleaning them in bulk, my favorite way of doing it is using like a Clorox wipe. You can find these at the Dollar Tree. This one in particular that I am using is from Costco. I don't know how much this one costs because my mom gave it to me, but yeah, I mean, you can find these anywhere. They're not that expensive. Just one of these sheets normally cleans about 20 of these DVD cases, if not maybe even more. Again, it all depends on how dirty they are. I'll hold a stack of them and then go like this and then do like all the edges, and then that way that's just done, right? Super fast. And then I just literally, I'll sit here, and I normally try to do it like as quickly as possible. I don't put too much into it unless it's going to be a disc that's worth a lot of money. I'll put extra care into cleaning it, and sometimes I'll like replace the cases if they're really that dirty. That's when I buy DVDs in bulk. There's always going to be some cases that are missing their disc, and when that happens, I just take out the insert, throw it away, and keep the case. That way, if I'm ever in a situation where I'm like, oh my gosh, this case is super dirty or it's ripped, I could just go grab one of my replacement ones and replace it. And it's a lot easier than having to like clean that case. So that was just 4, just to show you an example. So when it comes to actually cleaning the disc, I don't use this. Of course, I always just try to use the microfiber towel first, but if it's like if there's like really thick fingerprints on it, or if it's dirty, what I use is the spray bottle that is mixed with just dish soap and water. And what I'll do, I literally just spray it just like that. And then I just use a regular paper towel and clean it up. And that's it. That's all I do. So if doing that doesn't clean up the disc and it still looks bad, then the disc is probably just bad and you probably just need to toss it. And if you don't have any of those Clorox wipes, some other options that you have is you can use that same dish soap spray thing to spray the disc and clean them. That way you're not using chemicals now. And then it's just cheaper than buying those wipes as well. So that's always an option too. I have shipped out hundreds of DVDs, and of these hundreds, I've only had one person open a return saying that the disc didn't work, which, by the way, I pretty much call BS on that one. I think that there was nothing wrong with it. It was a $6.50 movie, so I just refunded them. One morning when I was out yard selling, I had bought like tons of things that day, and one of them was a really cool like double disc DVD Blu-ray combo movie, and it had like the slipcover and everything. I forget what movie it was, but I remember the comps on it was pretty good, so I was pretty excited about that. But I had like stacks of things that I had picked up that day, and somehow that movie got mixed in with clothing. And when I went to go throw the clothes in the wash to wash them, I accidentally washed the movie too. And I was really upset about it. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to set it to the side, let it dry, see what happens. So I let it dry for a couple days. And then when I went to check it out, I was like, okay, well, the slipcover is definitely garbage. So I threw that away. And the actual like insert, the artwork insert, it was kind of like crinkly, but it wasn't too bad. So I left that. And there was a few spots inside the case and on the disc that were still like kind of wet. So I just cleaned it off with a towel. And then I put both discs in to test it. So the Blu-ray and the DVD. And it worked. Guys, it went through the wash and it still worked. So that is why I'm not afraid to spray dish soap and water on the back of the disc. I'm like, if the wash didn't break them, I'm pretty sure the dish soap and water is just fine. And of course, you know, there may be like better ways of doing this. Like, I don't know. If you have another way that you clean your cases and your discs, definitely let me know in the comments. I love to hear what other people are doing. Regardless of how you clean these, you always have to remember that you don't want to spend a lot of time on something, especially if it's not worth a lot of money. If you think it's going to need a lot of attention, don't buy it. Because one of the great things about selling DVDs is they're so easy to list and they're so easy to ship and store. When you start taking that stuff away, it becomes not worth it. One time I had bought like a whole bunch of Blu-rays and I wasn't really paying too much attention. I think that it went through like a fire or something, or they were in a room where there was a fire, because a lot of the stuff looked water damaged, but at the same time there was like ash or something in them, like very dusty and dirty. And I had to sit there and clean everything. I had to take the inserts out and like clean inside, and it was just a disaster. I had to tape some of the cases back shut. I didn't have any extra Blu-ray cases that I could use, and it just took up so much of my time. I ended up making a profit off of it, but at the end of the day, like, if I could go back, I would have picked those up. And also, don't spend a lot of money on cleaning supplies. Really easy to clean DVDs for really cheap. And again, you got to get your DVDs for cheap. But if you're starting to invest a lot of money in like these cleaning supplies to clean them, then that kind of takes away from that as well. I hope you guys found this video useful in any way at all. If you did, please like this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Thanks for hanging out. Never forget, when you thrift upon a star, your dreams come true. I'll see you guys all in my next video. Bye.